was thinking for this video that I might pull my wedding dress out of its hermetically sealed box and put it on for you. Well, you're in luck because I couldn't find it up in the top of the closet where I was sure I had put it decades ago. You know, the sight of me half squeezed into that dress could have been way more than you had ever wanted to see. So instead, I put on this white blouse that I love. Come along with me as I reminisce about my wedding day. Today, September 16th, is my wedding anniversary, which always brings up the question, how long will I celebrate this day, given Justin has not been here to celebrate with me for the past 20 anniversaries? At this point, maybe celebration is not really the correct term. It is probably more like sweet remembrance. Even as I sit here talking about that day, I can see, hear, feel, smell, and taste so many of the tiny details of that day and remember all that led up to it. To start with, Justin's proposal was highly unusual. He was a member of the Christian Brothers monastic order and was being groomed to run the complex vineyards, wineries, and distilleries that funded the brothers' schools, so children from families of any income level could attend. Brother Justin took this responsibility very seriously and, in fact, had rededicated himself to the Christian Brothers and the winery leadership just a year before that, at the conclusion of a soul-searching 100-day retreat. On that day in February 1972, he made an unplanned visit to his professor Harold Omo's home to talk with Helen and Harold, who had become like surrogate parents to him. I happened to be there in the Omo's backyard with my current boyfriend, Chuck, constructing math learning tools for my 4th grade students. Helen peeked out of the patio door and let me know that Brother Justin was there and he wanted to talk with me. From the look on her face, I could tell it was serious. So I suggested to Chuck that he leave as I would get a ride home, and then I went inside. There, I found Brother Justin trembling and filled with emotion. He said he had come there to tell the Omos that he had decided to leave the Christian Brothers order. He told me how much he loved me, and then he asked me to marry him. I said yes. The surprise proposal was followed by me finishing up my teacher's training, taking a summer job in my hometown, and planning the wedding. But for Justin, the preparation for marriage was much more complex, sober, and emotional. He was embarking on a completely different life, leaving behind a spiritual fraternity of friends and associates. Some of his confreres supported his decision to leave, and some turned their backs on him as if he were a traitor. He needed to apply to the Pope for a dispensation from his vows. He needed to discuss it all with his superiors, and then he called his friends and found a humble place for us to live as he began work as a vineyard and winery consultant. On the wedding day, my parish priest, who had counseled us through our marriage preparation, became ill, necessitating a last-minute substitute. The wedding officiant, who appeared before us that day, was more nervous than we were. Apparently, like Justin, he had taken a year-long leave of absence from his church responsibilities as he decided to rededicate himself to the church. and our wedding day was his first day back. In his eagerness to do a proper job, he went through not one, but 2 complete ceremonies. So Justin and I were essentially married twice. Our compassion for his obvious nervousness helped take us out of our own wedding day jitters. An outdoor reception followed the ceremony after a few formal photos. I had insisted that it be in my home in our backyard. Delicious hors d'oeuvres were passed as guests milled around. In addition to the lively mariachi band I had requested, I sit up with my college musical group and we sang a few songs together. It was all so much fun. By the time I changed from my wedding dress into my going away outfit, I was happily exhausted and ready to leave the crowd behind and officially leave my parents in my new status as a married woman. Justin and I checked into the new Stanford Court Hotel and went up to our room. We immediately started kissing, and Justin had the back zipper of my dress halfway down when someone walked into our room. The valet blushed with embarrassment as he set the welcome basket of fruit on the table and quickly made his exit. We luxuriated in each other's arms, then dressed again for dinner across the Golden Gate Bridge at the romantic Spinnaker restaurant in Sausalito. Just last weekend, I was with friends on a beautiful Veneto sailboat and remembered that night as we were on a close reach, cruising right by the plate glass windows of the Spinnaker. Recently, I was invited to Stephanie and Gabe's wedding. I actually did not attend the wedding itself due to my concerns about rising COVID infections in that area. But a month before the nuptials, I was delighted to host the bachelorette party. It was so much fun to party with these lively, laughing 35-year-old girls. There was lots of delicious food prepared by my daughter Holly, lots of good wine courtesy of me and Rombauer Winery, which we had visited. There were mojitos in the pool and games I would have to bleep out if I mentioned them out loud here. Weddings and the traditions surrounding them have changed a lot in the almost 50 years since Justin and I were married. But the underpinnings of love and joy, focus on sacred union, and shared hopes for the future have not. May your wedding anniversaries and remembrances all be as sweet as mine. This is Divine Conversations with Bonny Meyer. I'll see you next time.
You'll stay on my mind. You'll stay on my mind. Since you came to me, my life has changed. Bad things will be gone, the good